Southwest side. What we now know about the events that led up to the shots being fired. Still ahead.
And an update to a robbery investigation. Police say they've arrested another suspect. We have the details this noon.
Live from KSAT 12, the news at noon starts right now.
And new at noon, an 18-year-old woman facing charges after police say she drove onto a sidewalk, then hit and killed someone who was sitting on a bench.
San Antonio police charged Melanie Mariah Gaiton with intoxication manslaughter and failure to stop and render aid. Police accuse Gaiton of killing 29-year-old Monique Rodriguez.
According to SAPD, Gaiton was driving on the west side yesterday near Calibre and I-10. At some point, police say she started speeding and then tried to pass up another driver, and somehow she ended up on the wrong side of the road and then on the sidewalk. Police say she hit and killed the victim, who was sitting on a via bus bench. She also hit a fence and several signs.
Officers tell us Gaiton and a passenger tried to run away, but police caught them nearby.
And a man in the hospital after being shot by his roommate on the city's southwest side.
Police responded to a call for a shooting just before 5 this morning on the 5400 block of Middlefield Road off of Medina Base Road. And this noon, police are still looking for the suspect involved.
Disturbance between two females. Okay, started fight. Their boyfriends get involved as well. And next thing you know, one suspect pulls out a gun and shoots the victim in the left arm.
Overnight, this home on Middlefield Road became a bloody crime scene. At least 6 people were inside.
Yes, they all live there. Okay, so they're all there during the time, at the time of the shooting.
Police say the shooter, a 25-year-old man, more than likely used a shotgun and took off on foot.
From there, he takes off southbound from this location. We know who he is, or we believe we know who he is.
Police use Eagle and canines to track down the suspect in the surrounding area. The victim, a 29-year-old man, was shot in the left arm.
The occupants of the house had already wrapped his arm up. The victim's unstable but serious.
The victim underwent surgery at University Hospital and is recovering. When arrested, the suspect will be charged with assault with a deadly weapon.
And also new at noon, the jury now deliberating in the stalking case of Bobby Martinez. This is the first in-person criminal jury trial to take place since March of 2020 because of the pandemic. Now, the prosecution and the defense gave their closing arguments this morning, both sides going back and forth on the credibility of the alleged victim and the investigation done by SAPD. Martinez faces 1 count of stalking, which is a third-degree felony. If found guilty, Martinez faces a possible sentence of up to 10 years in prison.
And a second suspect was arrested in a beauty store robbery case. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office accuses the pair of stealing cologne at gunpoint from an Ulta beauty store at Ingram Park Mall. According to deputies last week, Jeremy Anthony Blanco and Steven Lopez grabbed several men's fragrances before walking away. Deputies say Lopez pointed a gun at employees. As the pair got away, the suspects were charged with 2 counts of aggravated robbery. Blanco is also facing a terroristic threat charge.
A murder investigation continues on the city's east side this noon, and so far the only clue police have, pictures of the suspect's vehicle. Take a look at your screen. Here they are. Officers tell us in June 4th, a driver in this car was in the 200 block of Nelson Avenue near North New Braunfels Avenue. The victim, Davis Gilbert, who was both deaf and mute, parked in a driveway. Police say someone inside the silver Hyundai Elantra fired several shots, killing Gilbert. And if you have any help that you can give the officers, or you know the people responsible, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP.
And a driver will not face charges after hitting and killing a woman on the northwest side. According to police, the driver and a passenger were on their way home from work when a woman stepped out into the road. This was near I-10 and Isabella Road. The driver told police he didn't see the woman until it was too late. The woman was pronounced dead at the scene. And pop-up clinics continue administering the coronavirus vaccine today. In fact, 3 locations are open right now. Carver Library on East Commerce will continue open until 5 tonight. You can also get the vaccine at the Turner Corporation on Lambda Drive. That pop-up clinic will close at 2 this afternoon. And Earl Rudder Middle School on Horn Boulevard will have a clinic there as well. It closes at 7 tonight. All 3 clinics will have the Pfizer vaccine available.
And right now on KSAT.com, you can get a closer look at the list of clinics open today, as well as vaccination sites that will be open this weekend. We also have information about vaccines. If you still have any questions, all you have to do is go to coronavirus tab on our website, KSAT.com. And the COVID-19 pandemic is on the agenda during President Biden's G7 trip. The president meeting with international leaders as well as the royal family. One of his goals is to let leaders know that America is back and will lead by example. As ABC's Ike Ajochi reports, all of this comes on the heels of the upcoming high-stakes summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Today, President Biden joining the world stage at the G7 summit. The president meeting leaders of the most powerful countries at this seaside resort in Cornwall, England. The group discussing how to tackle some of the world's most pressing issues, particularly the COVID-19 pandemic.
We need to make sure that we learn the lessons from the pandemic.
The group committing to donate 1 billion COVID vaccine shots to poorer nations, with the U.S. positioned to provide half of those doses, the most of any country. The president asserting the United States leadership, reassuring allies of America's commitment to democracy. One of Biden's key goals, to show Donald Trump's America First foreign policy is over.
In times of trouble, Americans reach out to offer help.
First Lady Dr. Jill Biden meeting today with Prince William's wife, Duchess Kate Middleton, at an early childhood learning center. Also causing a stir yesterday, wearing this jacket with the word love on the back, drawing comparisons to her predecessor's jacket at the southern border. The G7 nations also working together to boost the global economy, endorsing a global minimum corporate tax rate of 15%. So far, so good for Biden's first overseas trip. As summit host, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson continuing to sing the president's praises.
It's wonderful to listen to the Biden administration and to Joe Biden, because there's so much that they want to do together.
It's a visual day for Biden. The president and first lady greeting Boris Johnson and his wife, Miss Carrie Johnson. Shortly after, the president participating in a family photo with other G7 leaders. The president and first lady plan to attend a dinner tonight with other G7 leaders, including the royal family. Ike Ajochi, ABC News, Washington.
Hot weekend on the way. Some changes next week, maybe some rain chances, and we'll keep an eye on the tropics too. That forecast coming up.
And as more things open up, children may see changes in their daily routines. How to make sure they adjust as we get back to normal life. Welcome back. Well, life before the pandemic is slowly starting to return, and that can be a big adjustment for children who may not understand why the rules are changing. Stephen Cavazos shares tips to help children adjust.
The pandemic is all a child may or may not know, but I think it's important for all children from, toddler to adolescence, as children are resilient. And so in some cases, much more resilient than adults.
Dr. Emily Mudd is a pediatric psychologist for Cleveland Clinic. She says while children can adapt, it may take some longer to adjust than others, which is normal. However, if they seem to be having a hard time, there are ways to help them cope, like talking to them about how they're feeling and offering reassurance. It's also important to be a good role model for them. If they see you're stressed out about not having to wear a mask anymore, they may get stressed out too. Separation anxiety is another issue that has surfaced now that more parents are heading back to the office. Her advice: make sure to develop a new routine with them and explain what's happening in a way they'll understand.
If you're going back to work as a parent and you've been home most of the time, preparing your child for when that would happen, no matter how young they are. So talking about it, this is when mom or dad is leaving, this is when I'll be home. Keep those transition periods short, so the longer a goodbye is, the more a child has to think about mom or dad leaving.
Dr. Mudd says if your child's behavior has drastically changed and you're noticing a difference in their sleeping and eating habits, or they're making vague complaints about headaches or stomach aches, you may want to consult with their pediatrician. Stephen Cavazos, KSAT 12 News.
If you're a little tired of playing Angry Birds, the San Antonio Humane Society has the perfect game for you. It's called Dog Dash. It's about dogs trying to get away from its owner who wants to give him a bath. The dog digs up bones while running away, and as he collects more bones, he moves up levels. The SA Humane Society partnered with IMG to create the game to bring attention to pet adoptions and the organization.
It's fun, especially over the summertime, while you're on a road trip with your kids or with your family. Hey, download the app and have some fun with it. And the best thing is that there's a link to our website so people can find out more about us too.
The game is free and available for both Apple and Android users. Just search for SAHS Dog Dash in the App Store. See, if you're riding in the car, going on vacation, you got a new game to play. See how that works?
It gives me flashbacks to real life.
Oh, you got one of those dogs, huh?
That thing bathing.
I'm surprised David's still playing Angry Birds.
I know.
It's a throwback. Let's go outside for you there. Temperature's warming up. We've got a few clouds, but the blue sky is starting to show through. It's going to be very similar to yesterday. We'll see those warm temperatures. The aquifer, it's up today, 0.2 of a foot, 671 even, still a great number. And the pollen count, molds, for whatever reason, jumped up today. They're in the high category, 3,490. Pigweed is low. We've got to look at your weekend forecast coming up.
Never miss a story. Watch live or when you want. San Antonio's latest news and weather, streaming free on KSAT TV.
It's beginning to look a lot like Fiesta. Just take a look at this. Prep work is underway for the Texas Cavaliers River Parade.
This morning, crews were downtown unloading the barges from the trucks and putting them into the river. The parade takes place on Monday, June 21st.
And that's surreal. You can buy the tickets on the Texas Cavaliers website. Remember that proceeds of the parade benefit the Texas Cavaliers Charitable Foundation.
And remember, if you cannot get to the parade, you can always turn on your TV. Myra, Arthur, and myself will be hosting the parade again this year, 7 o'clock is when it all starts. Man, it's going to be fun. Oh, it's going to be so much
fun, but so hot.
That's all right. You know, after not having anything from Fiesta.
We'll take it.
Ooh. Doesn't it feel so good?
Yes.
Have all this coming back.
Yes.
Feel a little bit more normal. Summer.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and the weather's pretty normal, too, for this time of year. Yeah, it is hot and humid, but we would expect that, right, in June. We're going to see that stretching into the weekend. Want to show you what's going on out in the tropics right now. We have some dust starting to show up. If you remember, we see this just about every summer. Some of the dust from the Sahara works its way across the Atlantic. A lot of times it can make its way all the way to the United States, create some hazy conditions. Oftentimes people with asthma will feel it a little bit. This is a forecast into Tuesday. This is Tuesday, 11 o'clock. Notice it's starting to come a little bit closer to Texas. Now, these concentrations are really low. You probably won't notice it that much, but this is just sort of our first batch. Wanted to make you aware that late next week, we may start to see some of that working into South Texas. That's one side of the tropical discussion. The other is what may develop in the Gulf of Mexico, if anything. Right now, there is nothing there. The Hurricane Center is flagging an area in the southern part of the Gulf of Mexico and putting a 20% chance of development over the next 5 days. Computer models have been pretty consistent in developing some tropical moisture or some tropical element moving in here late next week. And then from there, a lot of questions. It's way too early to make any predictions on where anything would develop or where it would go. But we do need to watch it. And we certainly will, because anything that develops in the Gulf of Mexico could have an impact here in Texas. We'll keep you posted. Outside right now, we've got partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures at 85 degrees. South-southeasterly winds at about 13, gusting to 21. So winds are going to be a little breezy today, ushering in more Gulf moisture. 83, the current air temperature in Boulevardy, 81 Canyon Lake, 87 in Castroville, 83 right now in Tarpley, and it's up to 90 now in Del Rio. Temperatures are going to be awful warm there this afternoon. Not only is it hot, but dew points are in the mid-70s, so it feels even worse. Dew point is 73 here in San Antonio, 72 in New Braunfels, 70 in Cotulla. You factor that in, this is what it feels like. 97 in Gonzales, 97 in Pleasanton. Feels like 100 in Del Rio. You can expect that heat index to jump up close to 105 there in Del Rio this afternoon. Actually, 106 is what our forecast is now showing. It'll feel like 99 here in San Antonio, 103 in Pleasanton, 104 in Cotulla. So this is basically same story we've seen all week. Cloud cover is there, but it's starting to break up some, and you'll see that mostly east of I-35. If you go west of San Antonio, it's a mostly sunny sky, if not sunny, and that's why they're seeing the really hot temperatures out there in Del Rio. They're also underneath the ridge, or at least a little bit more so, that is centered out there across the Four Corners region. And that's what's keeping things so toasty. It does move a little bit, and by Monday, there are some chances for some isolated showers in storms. I don't think it's going to be anything widespread, but at least it's a little bit of a change, maybe a little bit more cloud cover, which will keep temperatures down just a little bit. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, same story. The models are signaling at some chances for rain. but nothing that's going to be very heavy, I don't think. Just some isolated afternoon stuff. The best chances will probably be closest to the coast. Extended forecast. We'll go 93 tomorrow, 95 Sunday. So the weekend looks great for any plans that you have. Just know it will be hot. 94 Monday, 93 Tuesday, and low 90s Wednesday, Thursday. We put in a 20% chance of rain Monday through Thursday of next week, guys.
Thank you, Justin. It makes us look forward to the rain.
Yeah, a little bit. So it sounds like when the coach is happy, everybody's happy. So it's going well for the
Absolutely.
Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys, I mean, the players love the fact they're having OTAs. They love the fact that they're having a mini camp, but it's always nice to get a day off, and that's what the Cowboys will get today. Plus, in the NBA, Jordan Clarkson and the Jazz are just dominating the Clippers. Coming up.
You know, we got a lot of fight left, so, you know, we're up for the challenge.
Down 2-0 to Utah. Kawhi says the Clippers are not out of it in big board sports.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Satisfied with how things are going at the Star in Frisco, Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy canceled the final practice of minicamp and will instead hold a group dynamic event. Now, the Cowboys are way ahead of where they were at this point last season because of OTAs and minicamp, which COVID wiped out last season.
I mean, it's big. It's nothing that you could simulate, you know, playing football other than playing football, you know. No matter what it is, like, it's nothing that can simulate being out there with the guys that you're going to go to war with on Sunday and just getting that timing down, just getting that chemistry down and just being able to, you know, be one once we go out there as a team.
Pollard added the team is hungry and the goal is to win it all. The Houston Texans currently have 8 running backs on the roster, including Phillip Lindsay, who signed with the Denver Broncos as an undrafted free agent in 2018. In 3 seasons with the Broncos, he rushed for more than 2,500 yards, topping 1,000 yards each of his first 2 seasons. Standing 5'8", 190 pounds, Lindsay is not afraid to run inside.
It's a mentality. You know, growing up, that's what I've learned. If you want to be a running back, you got to be able to run inside out. And that's just how I take my game. I know how to run inside. I can run outside. And I just want to put everything together and be an all-around running back this year. But, yeah, like I make my money inside. And I know that I have the speed to be outside. So, for me, it's just about getting comfortable with the plays, get familiar with the offensive line, and just be explosive.
Lindsay suffered a toe injury last season in week 1 and missed 6 games, which kept his numbers down. Utah center Rudy Gobert picked up his NBA Defensive Player of the Year trophy last night before the Jazz played the Clippers in Game 2 of that series. Late fourth quarter, Clippers down 1. They create a turnover. The ball will go to Reggie Jackson for 3, and the Clippers go up 101-99 for their first lead of the game. But Utah would protect home court again behind its 3-point shooting, making 20 of 39 from downtown. The Jazz win 117-111, taking a 2-0 lead as they head to L.A.
I don't think it has to do with the 2 wins in terms of our confidence. I think we all pretty confident coming into every series, every game. We know it's one at a time. We know what our goal is and what we want to accomplish. So I think our confidence level is pretty high.
Game 3 is tomorrow night, 7:30 in Los Angeles. In the Eastern Conference, the Bucks are back after finally breaking through against the Nets last night. Giannis had 33 points and 14 rebounds. Chris Middleton dropped in a game-high 35 points to go with 15 boards. Fear the Deer wins at home 86-83, and they trail the Nets 2-1. Game 4 is Sunday afternoon in Milwaukee. Women's College World Series Game 3 between Oklahoma and Florida State was all Sooners yesterday. Jocelyn Alo crushed a solo shot in the first inning for OU, and the Sooners never looked back, winning Game 3 5-1 for their 5th national championship in program history. Number 1, Oklahoma is on top of the college softball world.
Congratulations to them. I used to do that when I dunked.
Oh.
I don't believe you dunked.
Larry's sweet.
Was it a little
All right. Well, the trailer for a new movie dropped, and it's already getting a lot of buzz because of the transformation an actress underwent. We'll take a look in the next half hour.
Whether it's at the grocery store or you're planning your next vacation, prices are on the rise. The reasons behind the hikes coming up after the break.
And technology. It's really helpful for work, school, and even your finances, but it also opens the door to attacks, not just on businesses like last month's ransomware attack on the Colonial Pipeline, but even on your own personal data. Coming up today at 5, what you should do if you think your information has been compromised. Welcome back. Now to those surging prices, the biggest year-over-year jump in prices since the Great Recession. As ABC's Rebecca Jarvis explained, these prices are leaving shoppers looking for ways to save on everything from groceries to travel to clothing.
This is what happens when the consumer comes out of hibernation. Everybody wants to spend money who has money to spend. Meantime, there are supply shortages as a result of the pandemic. That has resulted in prices overall for consumers jumping 5% in May since a year ago. That's the biggest jump in prices since the Great Recession, and we're really seeing it across the board. Beef prices, for example, up 2.3%. The price of clothing up 5.6%. Airfares, everybody suddenly wants to travel this summer. Airfare and ticket prices up 24%. And you look at hotels and motels, they're feeling it too, up 9% on prices there. Gasoline, this is another one. We were barely using gasoline a year ago in lockdown. Now, as we've reopened, we're using more of it, and the price is up 56%. But one of the areas where we've really seen a big increase in prices, and a big reason why we're seeing this overall giant increase in inflation, is because of used car prices. Used car prices over the last year are up 30%, meaning if you bought a used car a year ago for $10,000, you might be able to sell that used car for $13,000 today. That's highly unusual. Now, top economists are divided on where we go from here. The Fed chair and others believe that this is temporary, that prices by the end of this year should normalize, whereas others see this as something longer term, having a more significant and sizable structural impact on the economy. And they look in particular at the fact that these supply shortages because of the pandemic and some of the labor disruption because of the pandemic could have a longer term impact. Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News, New York.
A bipartisan group of senators have their eyes set on a new infrastructure deal that would introduce $579 billion in new spending. Negotiators have been trying to strike a deal on President Joe Biden's infrastructure plan. The senators say the plan can still change once it makes its way to the Senate floor, but they're calling their plan, quote, realistic compromise framework, end quote, and say it would be paid for without raising taxes.
And now to the coronavirus pandemic. More states are lifting restrictions after hitting vaccination thresholds. That includes Illinois. Officials in that state lifted most COVID restrictions today. Washington, D.C. also fully reopened and lifted most capacity limits today. The nation is still chipping away at President Biden's goal of having at least 70% of the population vaccinated by July 4th. 13 states already met that goal, and so far, about 64% of adults have received at least one shot.
McDonald's says a data breach exposed private information of employees and customers in South Korea and Taiwan. Hackers also accessed certain information about some restaurants in the U.S., like their square footage. Officials at the company say no payment information for any customer was compromised, and hackers didn't get any customer or employee data in the U.S. They credited investments in cybersecurity for spotting the breach early and stopping it.
And a man says he spent the last year looking for answers after someone killed his fiancée, Army Specialist Vanessa Guillen. Guillen was stationed at Fort Hood in Killeen, Texas, when she disappeared in April 2020. She was just 20 years old. She was missing for more than 2 months before her body was found in the woods about 20 miles away. An investigation found that Guillen was sexually harassed by a supervisor, but they didn't find any connection between the harassment and her murder. Despite the Army accepting responsibility for many missteps, Juan Cruz says he still wants justice for his beloved.
It failed us since the beginning. How can something like that happen on a military base? They taking care of us, protecting us, but who's protecting them?
The prime suspect, fellow Army Specialist Aaron Robinson, died by suicide after escaping the base during the investigation.
Outside with live cam, something tells me the lakes, the rivers, the pools are going to be chock full this weekend.
Oh,
What do you
yeah, I think so.
think? So?
If I had a pool, I'd be there too.
That's where you'd be.
Yep.
It's a perfect weekend for it. I mean, it really is. Temperatures will be in the mid-90s. Yes, humidity is still with us, but nice and toasty. We should see a lot of sun, too. It's not only here. The whole state of Texas is enjoying a lot of heat, especially as you get out in the West Texas. The numbers have been skyrocketing as of late. 91 out in Midland. It's 92 in the mountains in Marfa. Drier air out there, but still, it's expected to be in the triple digits there today. Cool spot still remains up across the Pacific Northwest, places like Boise and Salt Lake City. Seattle is 57, 58 in Portland. Really nice weather up there. It'll probably stay that way for a couple days. For us, it's partly cloudy skies and heat. Temperature at this hour sitting at 85. Dew point is at 73 and pretty good wind. South-southeasterly breeze at about 13 miles per hour. Gusts up to 20 through the afternoon. Here's what the forecast heat index looks like. This is what it will feel like around 5 o'clock today. 99 here in San Antonio, 104 in Pleasanton, 101 Bevo, 101 Gonzales. Basically where we've been last couple days, right around 100 degrees for your feels like temperature. This weekend, 93 Saturday, 95 Sunday, mostly sunny skies both days, and maybe some slightly lower humidity. And then rain chances return, at least slight rain chances return next week. We'll have another look at that 7-day here in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. 2 local high school football players have been named as 2 of the best college football players in the state by Dave Campbell. Larry Ramirez with that coming up in sports.
And an actress transforms into a well-known televangelist for a new role. How fans are reacting to the transformation coming up in the spotlight.
Never miss a story. Watch live or when you want. San Antonio's latest news and weather. Streaming free on KSAT TV.
Hello everyone, this is your daily tech and business briefing from Cheddar News. Amazon relaxing some of their guidelines for returning back to the office. The e-commerce giant saying they expect employees to work in the office 3 days a week, leaving the option for employees to work remotely for 2 days. The remote work days will be determined by leadership teams. Meanwhile, Apple may be the newest competitor in the electric car field as the tech giant hiring a former BMW senior executive who previously focused on developing electric cars. Ulrich Kranz recently stepped down as the CEO of the self-driving electric vehicle startup Canoe. And Netflix introducing their own online store. This to sell merchandise from their popular shows. Netflix.shop will be selling toys, games, and clothing based on popular shows. The extension makes sense for the streaming service as companies like Disney make billions of revenue on merchandise alone. The shop is available in the U.S. and will expand to other countries in the coming months. And that's your Cheddar News Business and Tech Update. I'm Baker Machado coming to you from Cheddar Studios in Lower Manhattan.
Fans only have eyes for Oscar winner Jessica Chastain in the new trailer for The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
Chastain has transformed herself for the role.
Here is CNN's Jeannie Mose. It took more than just mascara to make that transformation, too.
Maybe not all eyes, but quite a few were on The Eyes of Tammy Faye. The movie's first trailer dropped.
Hello, Mother. This is Jim Baker, my husband.
Coming this fall, the rise and fall of Jim and Tammy Faye Baker. Starring Andrew Garfield and Jessica Chastain, whose characters don't always talk like televangelists.
Who are you? I'm the mother who found this place, sir.
But now,
God has a plan for us.
What'd he tell you to do this time?
Jesus keeps taking me higher and higher.
Chastain's 4 hours a day getting makeup for the part paid off.
We're not doing anything wrong, though.
Is that a question?
Tweeted one fan, "I can't stop staring." Posted another, "I watched that whole trailer and then at the end I thought, wow, Jessica Chastain is in that? Where was she?" Of course, there were lots of makeup jokes, like this "I ran into Tammy Faye at the mall" t-shirt. The real Tammy Faye used to field questions on her makeup.
Do you ever go out of the house without it?
No, because I don't want to disappoint people.
Jessica Chastain tweeted this image of her face half transformed into Tammy Faye's. Someone complained that there should be 10 times the mascara on Jessica. Comedy shows used to depict the televangelist using industrial strength mascara. And SNL turned her eye makeup into a mess.
Tammy, we have a bit of goop on our face. Oh, I'm sorry.
Chastain told People magazine her research turned up no runny makeup photos, but people were always making her into a clown and punishing her for the mistakes of her husband.
I built you an empire. You built you an empire.
Which one is the real Tammy Faye?
This is who I am.
Jeannie Mosey, CNN, New York.
I just want to love people.
For those of us who remember, that's pretty close.
Yeah,
That's not bad. Justin remembers.
Yeah, it's like spot on.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Pretty good.
I look forward to seeing that. You look outside right now, we got some blue skies, partly cloudy skies, and we're going to see a lot more sun this afternoon. Temperature's already up to 85. The average is 92. We'll be right at about average today. But to show you that it could be worse, the record is 104 set back in 1942. Thankfully, we will not be there. Just some low 90s today. Nice weekend, some changes next week. We'll have another look at the forecast coming up.
So what's the dew point is what I want to know. That's all I care about today is the dew point. Yeah, that's because that's the humidity, right?
Good job, David.
Thank you.
I love it. Yeah.
What is the dew point?
It's like 72 here in San
Oh, that's low compared to what it was earlier this week. Right?
I'm shaving off a couple degrees.
You need me to
Helps.
talk about fronts and rainstorms and everything?
There's no fronts. Sorry. No polar vortex, no fronts. It's all just heat. Let's take a look at the records across the country. The hottest place in the country yesterday in Texas, Rio Grande Village, 116. Kind of jumped on us there, but the low this morning, the coldest in the country we can find, Copper Basin, Idaho, is 12. So the difference between the high and the low, 104 degrees. Big difference. Much colder up there in the Pacific Northwest. Very toasty down there in the Big Bend. Does get very hot down there. This Rio Grande Village, often one of the hottest places in the country. But it will probably be right there again today. You look at the numbers across the state. Forecast calls for triple digits. Places like Lubbock are going to be up around 106, but notice the heat index there. Dry air feels like 100. The heat index is actually lower than the air temperature. It's the opposite for us because we got humidity. It'll be 92, but it'll feel like 100. Houston 92, it'll feel like 101. Just hot across the state, and there is heat advisories in place. Oklahoma, north central Texas, and then back out towards West Texas, where the numbers will easily be in the triple digits today. Outside, partly cloudy skies, 85 at the airport, close to 90 though at Stinson, 85 Kelly, 86 Randolph, and a good southerly breeze. So that helps a little bit if you're outside to cool you down some. The satellite picture shows we've got plenty of clouds, but they are breaking up. 89 Castroville, 82 Bernie Stage, 86 New Braunfels, 86 in Seguin. Clear skies Kerrville, 83 degrees there, and with clear skies in Del Rio, it has made it up to 90 now, 91 in Cotulla. There's the dew point. David, I'm sorry, I told you 72, it's 73. I don't know if that makes a difference to you. He can feel it. 72 in New Braunfels, 72 Kerrville. These numbers are pretty similar to what we were looking at yesterday. And that makes it feel like it's 92 here in town, 97 in Gonzales, and 98. The current feels like temperature in Eagle Pass, 100 in Del Rio, and it's only going to get worse as we get throughout the rest of the afternoon. Here in San Antonio, we top out at 92. Those temperatures will slowly fall this evening. If you're going to be out and about, it's still going to be warm and humid. Southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. As we look at the satellite picture, we showed you that, those clouds are trying to clear out some. But the bigger picture shows we've got some severe weather across parts of Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri this afternoon. Severe thunderstorm watch boxes there as the line of storms works towards the southeast. And then clouds and rain across the Pacific Northwest. One of the reasons temperature is so much cooler up there. But the rest of the country generally pretty quiet, minus a few pop-up thunderstorms across the southeast. Now let's go down into the Gulf of Mexico. Yes, there are some clouds and some thunderstorms, but this is not tropical development, at least not yet. The Hurricane Center, though, has flagged this area because we think down the line there could be an area of low pressure that develops here probably next week. It's low percentage, 20%. But the computer models have been holding on to the idea that there could be something later next week, some tropical moisture working its way up towards the Gulf Coast. We'll see. It's too early, but I do want to make you aware that that possibility is there. We'll certainly watch it for you. 93 Saturday, 95 Sunday, a hot weekend, heat index near 100, 20% chance of rain next week. Some rain chances, especially east of San Antonio. It'll just be the pop-up isolated afternoon stuff, though. Looks like through Thursday.
Thank you, Justin.
At least it's not 76 dew point.
There you go.
Thanks. You know, it's so much fun to watch kids from San Antonio be born and raised or move here, do such great things, go off, be heroes in sports, but yet still heroes to their community.
Yeah, we hear Pop talk about it all the time. Yeah. You know, life is more important than basketball. And Wagner grad Jordan Clarkson recently showed that is true, helping Yum Yum food truck that was vandalized with some pretty nasty graffiti. We got it coming up. NBA Sixth Man of the Year, Jordan Clarkson is certainly taking care of business on the floor. He's a huge reason why the Jazz lead the Clippers 2-0 in that Western Conference semifinal. And off the court, he's been even more clutch, proving life is more important than a game. Recently, a Filipino food truck was vandalized with anti-Asian graffiti, and Clarkson, a Filipino-American, partnered with vehicle wrap shop Identity Graphics to get the world-famous Yum Yum food truck back on the road. Jordan said seeing that hurt him deeply and really upset him. He told his family about how upset he was, and that's when they all came up with the idea to help out.
They were like, well, let's do something. And, you know, that was, my first reaction. And got on the phone, and they got on the phone, and we all just made the contact real quick and made it happen. So, but yeah, it's just no room for that, especially right now. It's been tough years on this earth, this country, this world. There's a lot of stuff going on. I feel like us together and everybody, finding a peace will make things a lot more, comforting in this world. And we ain't got no room for the hate no more. So.
The owner of the food truck said he's overwhelmed that in the midst of the playoffs, Clarkson took time to support his food truck. The Wagner alum coming up with a huge assist. Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine revealed its 2021 preseason All-Texas College team. And the Aggies of Texas A&M lead the way with 10 honorees, 6 on the first team, 4 on the second team. Defensive lineman DeMarvin Leal made the first team and was also named the best college D lineman in Texas. DeMarvin registered 37 total tackles his sophomore season with 7 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, 8 quarterback hits, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovered. The All-Texas teams include 52 student athletes from all 12 FBS schools in the state of Texas, along with a rare FCS player who made the cut, plus 4 San Antonio area guys made the list. UTSA running back Sincere McCormick, UTSA offensive lineman Spencer Burford, and Aggies DeMarvin Leal all made the first team. Sincere was named the best college running back in Texas, and Leal the top defensive lineman in the state. UTSA DB Trod Wisdom and Roadrunners punter Lucas Dean were both named to the second team. Wisdom, Leal, and McCormick went to Judson High School, and Burford is from Wagner. Astros at the Red Sox yesterday, bottom of the 6th, bases loaded for Boston's Bobby Dalbec, and he hits a big shot off the monster and left, driving in 2 runs to help the Red Sox beat the Astros 12-8 to avoid the 3-game sweep. Houston will open a 3-game series tonight at Minnesota. And we end with a sweet catch in the Brewers-Reds game. Joey Votto drives one deep and out of the park, where a boy falls over the seats to make the catch. Look again, the ball goes right through the hands of some guy and right into the boy's glove as he falls down. Kid is pumped up naturally. He gets a hug and a ball for life, and he made TV a pretty good day for that little Reds fan.
That's pretty good concentration right there. Right? The ball going through the other guy's hands, and he's still...
Commitment.
Good for him.
Eye on the ball.
He just made the Little League starting team. Speaking of starting, what is that behind you?
We are celebrating a day early Philippine independence. So many great traditions and food.
Yes, and that is what you're looking at behind us is an example of a Philippine folk dance called the Tinikling. So we are celebrating Filipino culture and Filipino pride And this dance is performed on special occasions like their Independence Day, which is tomorrow.
And it is absolutely beautiful. We are going to be seeing a full demonstration of that coming up. But we also have to talk about some great Filipino food. Look at how delicious that looks.
Yes, Chef Paul Cristostomo from Carilagan Philippine Cultural Group joins us, and we are going to be making not one, but 2 dishes today, right?
Yes, we're going to be making 2 dishes for you. Something special and something a little sweet. So stay tuned.
And you learned how to cook, great traditions from your grandmother, right?
I sure did. And it comes back from many, many times that she's wanting to always bring those like comfort foods here into the States. So as she's bringing her relatives over, she's cooking foods that were quite comforting to her to bring her back home, if not physically then mentally.
And what are we looking at right there? Because that's the first thing we're going to be making, right?
Yes, that's going to be the inihaw ng baboy, also known as the pork barbecue.
All right, and we're also going to be heading out to SeaWorld. As a matter of fact, you did to check out everything. They got a lot going on out there, right?
I sure did. All sorts of family summer fun to be had at SeaWorld. Besides the rides, besides the animal encounters and experiences, guess what? They've got a great summer concert series lined up and a new bar for the adults to tell you about.
All right, that and a whole lot more coming up on SA Live.